You know how moms are always, they raise their boys and girls and they're so excited, or when the boys and girls get old enough, they're so excited to get a job. They're going to get a job at this grocery store, the gas station, and they tell all their friends, I'm going to get a job. And the next thing you know, mom is driving the boy to work every day. She's driving the boy or the girl to the workplace, and then later on that night, she gets a phone call, I'm ready, come and pick me up. All moms have the same thing. And then the next child is playing soccer. The next child is on the football team. And the mom's going back and forth all day. And then, of course, she has to pick up the kids from school. So we thank our moms for all the self-sacrifice. And I remember on a certain occasion when I was a teenager and I was working at this restaurant, I worked in the evening shift. I was a fry cook, so I worked till midnight. But I didn't have my driver's license yet. I was just 15. So she every day, 3 or 4 days a week is what it was. She had to drive me to work at 3 o'clock. That was about a 15-minute drive, all the way to the one side of by Lake Tahoe. And in the evening, I'd get a call, or she'd be sleeping, and then she'd get the phone call at 12:30. I'm ready to pick me up. She'd get out of bed, and she'd drive all the way down. And during those years, in the early 70s, there were these motorcycle gangs coming up to Lake Tahoe from San Francisco. They really, scraggly hair and the violent hair. The Hells Angels. And they were at all the different signals, the crosswalks, and in those days we had this station wagon by Chevrolet. And what happened in those days, as soon as you come to a stoplight, or you had to put your brake on, because it didn't stay running when you let it just simply idle. The car would die. And there are times she'd be coming with different signals, and the guys in the motorcycle were right there. She'd be locking her doors, trying to start the car back up. So we appreciate all the sacrifices, Mom, and there's so many other stories there, too, right? And then another thing we can remember was 27 years ago when I was ordained in Switzerland. In a cone, Mom and Dad came over with some of the family, and on the night of the ordination, it was an exciting time. There was this man who came from California who flew over also, and he wanted to treat Mom and Dad and myself to dinner on the night of my ordination. So he had rented this Mercedes-Benz, and he said, we'll drive you to a nice restaurant. Well, the restaurant was about an hour away from Macon toward Geneva area. And he said we had to get there at a certain time, so I'm in the back, Mom and Dad are on either side, and he's up in the front driving with his buddy's driving, his buddy was a pilot for an airlines, private air company, a jet company, no private, small. Anyway, so we noticed we were talking and we were driving, and we noticed everything's going by so fast outside with the traffic. And I looked at the speedometer, and it was about 200 kilometers an hour. Well, what does that make about?
120.
And Mom goes, oh. It is kind of scary. And we thought, well, at least it's the day of the ordination. If we die, we'll really have it. It was kind of scary. So we made it to dinner, and I remember that night at dinner, they served the escargot. They served escargot, snails, And we didn't know at the time that they had the escargot, and then they had these little cups of some kind of sauce or whatever. We didn't know what the sauce was, so remember we started eating it just plain, and then he said, oh, no, we're supposed to dip it in the butter sauce, and it tasted a lot better. But it took forever to go down. But it did come up pretty fast.